Greetings. One of the saddest things that I had to experience as a school principal was talking with a parent who was finding out for the very first time that their student was addicted to a very high potent type of drug. The damage that was done not only to that student, to the family, to the student's class, and to our school as a whole had such a negative effect that it was worthwhile to do more and more investigation into what we could have done to help prevent this. And there are quite a few things that can be done as a school and that your school is doing to help prevent anyone from ever becoming addicted to drugs and or alcohol. One of the very first things that we can do as parents, as teachers, as support staff members is to recognize the characteristics of a person with a drug and alcohol problem. And again, these characteristic descriptions are of student age individuals, the teenage 20 years and below type of time frame, and these characteristics are specific to them. Doesn't mean that they don't show up in adults, but in this combination, I'm going to list off some characteristics. If you know of or again see an individual student that displays 3 or more of these characteristics, let's intervene and get them some help. Talk to your administrators, talk to teachers if you're a parent, talk to somebody to make sure that we're following through to get them the help that they need so that we can avoid tragedies to come. Here are the characteristics, and again, if there's any questions or any concerns with these, please follow up with this. We'll be happy to provide you with more information. First characteristic is that they demonstrate sudden behavioral changes or mood changes, meaning they are all of a sudden extremely happy for long periods of time, extremely sad for long periods of time, or vice versa. They used to play the guitar every morning. Now they don't want anything to do with it. Sudden, real fast changes in behavior or mood is one of the characteristics. The second characteristic is unsuspected changes in clothing or grooming habits. Those kind of individuals, again, that end up wearing kind of Nike and Adidas and sweatsuit type things and immediately switch over to some other type of genres type of clothing apparatus doesn't necessarily mean that they're addicted to drugs. Teenagers do this type of flip-flop all the time. But when they immediately have changes in their grooming habits, such as refusing to shave if they've been shaving for a long time, refusing to put on deodorant, not caring, used to be meticulous about their hair and now they don't care. Those type of things is characteristic too of a person addicted to drugs and or alcohol. Number 3 is that you find suspected drug paraphernalia around them or around their area or around their car if they're old enough to have a vehicle, in their locker, in their area, that they have things such as makeshift pipes, rolling papers. And again, that's more the marijuana phase, but the pill bottles, the concealers, the things that they can fold up little pieces of aluminum foil, eye drops, butane lighters, makeshift type, again, smoking devices, but even e-cigarettes where they've hollowed them out and put in different types of elements. All of those type of things are not just examples of them being able to experiment with drugs, but if you're finding them and they're leaving them even more so out in the open, that means they're far and really far along that process of not being as guarded with their drug use. The third one, specific physical and health issues are starting to become noticeable. Skin coloration is different. Blood pressure looks higher, lower. It doesn't matter. It could be a cross of each. There are physical, you can see blood in areas, you can see scarring, you can see slicing, all kinds of different physical and health issues really on the deterioration side. That's, again, the fourth characteristic of someone addicted to drugs at a teenage age level. Psychological and cognitive indicators, meaning they're starting to demonstrate paranoia, a lowered threshold for violence, abnormally slow movements, reaction time is diminished, Confusion and disorientation is evident. Those are things that are very prevalent in an individual, again, that can be addicted to a drug and or alcohol. Withdrawal from family members and a lack of interest. What usually transpires is an individual that was so entwined in their family now begins to not only withdraw, as some teenagers do, and again, we're looking at a group of these characteristics together, not just one individual characteristic to identify a problem. Withdrawal from family members and a lack of interest would be an extreme withdrawal. Not just, hey, I'm going to go to my room for dinner. It's they don't want to come out of their room ever. Areas that they used to participate in and have interest in, they're completely gone from. Athletics, student council, musician, all those things just dropped so that, again, the focus can be on the drug is a characteristic of a drug-addicted type individual. If they have erratic sleep cycles and unusual sleep patterns, meaning where, again, long periods of sleep, interrupted sleep, up at 3 a.m., back at 4 a.m., up again, those type of erraticities are the things that demonstrate characteristics of a potential drug problem. There are 4 more. One is problems at school where normally problems didn't exist. A substantial amount of problems, growing problems, things that are seemingly what we would call out of character or out of behavior. If those things are evident, that's another characteristic. Neglected appearance, almost similar to what we talked about in unexpected changes in clothing and or grooming, but in this case, when they have that neglected appearance, they're going to wear dirty clothes. They're going to have the unshaved face, if possible, if they're shaving already. Girls would have hair that's not clean. Guys would have, again, the dirty clothes, the mud on the face, all kinds of different aspects and ideas. You get the idea, but again, it's that neglected appearance. It's especially in somebody that had such a placed a high value on their appearance. That change is again a characteristic. The last 2, first is changes in behavior that are extremely evident. And again, you'll know what it is that we're talking about. But in your own specific situation, those behaviors that were constant are no longer constant, and those behaviors that were considered erratic or even weird, for lack of a better explanation, are now considered normal. And the very last one, as far as a common characteristic for a student age youth to be addicted to drugs and or alcohol, is money spending patterns. For those, whether they have a lot of money or don't have a lot of money, the constant need to be able to have money and they're constantly spending it, again, doesn't demonstrate that they're addicted to drugs and alcohol, but if it's combined with the rest of these or a few, again, 3 or more of these characteristics, and the spending money aspect is something that they can't explain where the money went on a regular basis. Large amounts of money are missing. Theft is going on in the home or different areas or by grandmother's house, or it doesn't matter where, but that need and that idea to get and spend money regardless of the consequence is the final characteristic that we're discussing that is a common characteristic for a student age youth addicted to drugs and or alcohol. Dealing with this type of subject is extremely hard for parents and for staff at schools. Being able to identify it quickly and getting them help immediately, again, whether they like it or not, is one of the things that can help prevent a true tragedy from happening later on. Thank you for your time.